think that pornography is the major obstacle for the equality of women. Pornography is the major obstacle in their way to equality. Why would that be? Why pornography? Other feminists have talked about difference in salary or different things, but pornography. Well, this is how the radical feminists see pornography. The word pornography originally, etymologically means, it's made up of two Greek words, porne, which means prostitute, and graphos, which is graphic depiction in words or images. So pornography, technically, strictly speaking, is the graphic depiction of acts of prostitution. That's what pornography is. But for the radical feminists, pornography is not just what you would call hardcore pornography, but they define pornography as any use of a woman's body that's meant to attract the male gaze. Any use of a woman's body that's meant to attract the male gaze. That is pornography, which includes, of course, commercials. I mean, if you see a commercial of a BMW with a woman fully dressed sitting on the car, what is the woman doing there? Are you going to buy the woman or the car, or what is it that's being advertised? Well, why that? I remember seeing this huge billboard in LA a few years ago of the king of beepers. Does that sound familiar? Do you remember seeing that? See, the guy is just the head of a guy with a huge crown like a king, and all these little women in bikini flying around. That would have give the radical feminists either a heart attack, I don't know, they would just go nuts with that. Every time I saw it, I thought of Dorkin and McKinnon, and I saw them just going crazy and shooting on the billboard or something, because that was really the utmost radical feminist nightmare. So pornography, what does pornography do for the radical feminists? For pornography shapes women's behavior. The idea is the following. Okay, this is very important. This is their argument. Real life women see other women in pornography. Now, pornography may be a commercial, a movie, a regular movie, a fashion show. And they imitate that because they see those women as successful, glamorous, and they want to be, instinctively, they want to imitate that. They want to be like them. Now, what is the problem? Those women on the screen are not expressing their true womanhood. They are playing a role which has been written by a man. It's a man imagining women how he as a man wants them to be. Submissive, pleasing to men, silly, unintelligent. That's how he wants them to be. And so the real life woman sees that, and I want to be like that. She doesn't think that. But images and movies have a lot of power on us. We want to be like in the movies. We want to live a life like in the movies. There was this study, this poll taken years ago that showed that a large percentage of Americans suffer deep depressions at one point or another of their lives because they consider that their life stories wouldn't make for a good movie script. And I believe it completely. Think of yourselves, be honest. Think of the last time you saw one of these very realistic movies, like this Tom Cruise movie or something, which there's a real college student who could be you, or the girl could be you in the movie, and everything is like you, and they appear to have the same kind of problems and roommates and everything, except that things happen to them that never happened to you. So you walk out of the movie like thinking, what's wrong with my life? These things don't happen to me, especially there's never background music in your life. That makes a big difference, doesn't it? If every time something nice happened to you, you had boom, but no, you go completely unnoticed. So you feel there is something wrong with you until one day you have the music really loud in your car, you're driving really fast on the freeway, and you feel, finally, this is like in the movies. Somehow and all of a sudden you see the cops coming after you, and then that's the end of the movie, right? So yeah, we tend to imitate. This is what we call Wilde's paradox. Think of Oscar Wilde, the British playwright. Wilde's paradox. Which is stated as nature imitates art. We tend to think that it's right the opposite. We see the painter, and the painter painting something on the canvas that's imitating the landscape, but Oscar Wilde says, no, that's naive. In reality, the painter is painting that landscape as he sees it. He's giving you another version of the landscape. The same with movies. They do not imitate reality. They recreate reality, and we imitate that. We read books, novels, supposedly an imitation of reality. No, we read the books and we want to be like in the books. We get all excited about doing that, having a life that's like we've seen in the movies or read in the books. Okay? So yes, it's true. We tend to imitate what we see in a legitimized manner. And so, I mean, if you're a guy, think of when you were, when you were 16 or 15 or 17, whatever, of your erotic dreams. I'm not talking about anything dirty, but your fantasies, like you're driving in your motorcycle in the freeway, and then right by the side of the freeway there's this extremely sexy girl who's just had a flat tire. So you go and you stop your motorcycle, and you go there and you fix it in 2 minutes, and then she's there at your feet, and you're like, oh, it's okay. Just give me your phone number. Yeah. Well, if you were writing a script, of course I'm making a silly example, simplifying it. But if you were a man, the ultimate process is this: you would have your somehow fantasy of how you would want women to be with you, to behave towards you, to really be at your feet. The fantasy which never comes true in real life. But now you have the opportunity to write it down, to put it in, and to make it into a script, into something like real life. And then women are going to see that, and they're going to get the clue. Because that woman who behaves like you want in your script, of course, is going to be glamorous, happy, beautiful, everything like you want to be. You're going to unconsciously imitate that. So the whole of a woman's personality has been shaped completely by a man's fantasy through pornography. That is the radical feminist viewpoint, okay? So it is a tool of domination. Also, when we see something, it's a description, but we take it as a prescription. We see, and that happens in the social sciences a lot. For example, there was a study that showed that usually people with a higher economic standing and higher cultural level tend to marry later in life, while people with a lower economic standing or lower cultural level tend to marry earlier, when they're, 19, 20 or something. Now, when you read those results, they're not telling you when you have to marry. They're simply describing things, describing what people do. But when you read that, you hear the voice in the back of your mind that says, maybe I should wait a couple more years till I get married, because you don't want to be classified as the lower kind of people. Well, we are like that. We are like, at heart, we are like little children. We behave by these simple mechanisms. And so you see something in the movies, and that's simply describing the life of a woman, but you take it as a prescription. It's telling you have to be like that. You want to be like that. It's not that you just see what they do and you don't care. No, you say you don't care, but you want to be like that. Science and art gives us supposedly what are only descriptions of reality, but we take them as prescriptions, as telling us, do it, do this, do that. So pornography, therefore, has an impact in the radical feminist view. Now the next point is the radical feminists claim pornography harms women. Now the harm principle is what's at the heart of democracy. We can only prohibit that which causes actual harm, not presumed harm, not potential harm, but what causes actual harm. Does pornography cause harm on women? Well, the radical feminists say yes, it predisposes men to be violent, to use violence against women. but they haven't been able to prove that.